How could they discover that
Haha.
planet? Farther,
Look it up.
farther than Pluto?
I guarantee if you look it up right now on the internet, you will find that they are now positing at least 2, if not 3 new planets that are not necessarily new. They think they've been there all along, but they're seeing the gravitational signature of them now.
Is that past Pluto?
Yeah, they'd be in the Kuiper Belt, right? Or called exoplanets.
Mhm.
But that would be also true when you look at electrons, right? That are moving into these higher states. So you go into magnesium would have 12 electrons. Right? That's how it works. You've got an equal number of protons and electrons for the stable elements, right? The stable elements go all the way out until you get to the lanthanides and alkanides.
Mhm.
But the point being that we are just moving through our higher states of awareness, and there's only actually one element going through its periodicity. It starts with 1 electron and 1 proton, and then it just adds electrons and protons until it becomes unstable. And there's in total 137 elements, of which we've discovered 118. There's still 19 other elements we haven't discovered. And some of them are actually prior to hydrogen.
Really?
They're called hydrinos. Yeah. So if you look at it, the number of elements on the periodic elements table is, you've got hydrogen, which is the peak of a wave. The whole structure, how we looked at this as a table doesn't really make sense because that's not the way nature does it. It would be a spiral or something. And so you look at the next octave, which would then go from hydrogen. The next element is helium, right? Then you've got lithium. They've got 3 electrons, 3 protons. Then after lithium, you've got beryllium. Then beryllium goes to boron, right? So boron has 5 elements, or 5 electrons, excuse me. And then you've got 6 electrons, which is carbon. So it makes a cube. Wait a minute, this is genius. How the heck did the ancient polymaths know, like Plato, that carbon and Earth was a cube that would have 6 electrons, 6 protons, and 6 neutrons? What's the sum of angles of a cube? Well, 2,160 degrees. And if I took each side, right, of the 6 sides of a cube, right, it comes out to the exact same math. It's the exact same math.
So is it possible?
6 electrons, 6 protons.
So this is a hypothesis. Is it possible that some of the great minds of our past,
Yes,
past, Galileo, Plato,
All of them
Socrates,
did.
all of them, just lay them out, were at a different vibrational frequency and level in their journey to raise their consciousness? Some of them were, even if you were like 1 or 2 steps above everybody else, you were so far beyond everybody else that you would look like a genius. It would be the equivalent of you or I walking into a place that, a tribe that's never seen a man, and all of a sudden we are absolutely at a whole other level intellectually. But this is on a spiritual level, even though they might have not even known.
So this is the great secret. It's
Yeah.
the great secret. The great secret is, and why Sri Yukteswar named his book Holy Science. Because in order to go to higher states of knowledge, the doorway must be through raising your vibration, which must come through higher spirituality.
And yet the hard science or the materialism of today,
It works in exactly the opposite
Opposite
direction.
way.
So everybody that discovered things, so you look at mathematicians through time who discovered things, whether it's Plato who came up with the Platonic solids, right? Or maybe it was someone else at the Egyptian mystery schools who didn't want to be named because basically they could be killed also, right?
like Galileo. of
Like
course.
Galileo,
Yeah.
right? Or, Giordano Bruno, burned at the stake type of thing, right? So every time you had this massive expansion in human awareness, it always came through a spiritual doorway.
Always.
Always. Da Vinci, right? He was a spiritualist, without a doubt.
Oh, Einstein.
Einstein also, right? And then everybody wants to take the spiritual aspect out of the equation and just say, no, it's just about the science. If you just focus on the science, you will never discover anything. You'll never discover anything. You'll only push things around the table and the paper. You're not actually going to move the needle in science. Mathematics will only come whenever we go to a higher dimension. We have to first get a download of the new source code for that higher dimension of consciousness.
Robert, I could talk to you for another 4 hours.
Likewise, my friend.
It has been such a pleasure and honor talking to you, my friend. We'll have to do it again.
Absolutely.
Have an
Happy
open invitation. Anytime you want to
to.
come down to the
Okay,
studios.
next time I'm here, I'll let you know.
But I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you again for everything
Thank
you're
you.
doing to awaken the planet as well.
Thank you. Love you, Ben.
Thanks for watching. Click on one of the videos below to continue your journey, and don't forget to subscribe.
I grew up in regional and remote areas around Albury Wodonga.